Hey, welcome, guys. This is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV. Welcome to Game 9 of our Seaver experiment, using the 1974 out of production advanced cards from STRAT. Today, the California Angels are in Texas. They're in Arlington, and they're facing David Clyde. I believe he's 18 years old in 74, I believe. A lot of people accuse the Rangers of rushing him, and then, of course, he had arm trouble, and the organization was blamed for that arm trouble. The Rangers actually have quite a good season. They finished second place, 5 games out of 5 games out of first place. The Oakland Athletics take their fourth division title in a row, and 75 will be the fifth in a row. Um, and It's going to be Nolan Ryan, and he will have his hands full because there's about 3, 4, 5 batters that have 300 averages on this Texas Ranger team. Let's look at the lineups and start rolling. Remember to like and subscribe my channel. Click on that little bell, and that will notify you of when I come out with any videos. Also, join Universal Baseball Association Facebook group. You'll find that very, very entertaining. And let's get to it. Okay, it's going to be Morris Nettles leading off, the lefty. Dave Chalk batting second, the shortstop. Bobby Valentine in left field. Batting third, cleanup is Frank Robinson, the DH. Batting fifth is Bob Oliver. He's at third base today. Right fielder is Bob Oliver is fifth, playing first base. Then it's Paul Shaw at third base. After that is Winston Yanis. He is the right fielder. Ellie Rodriguez, the catcher, batting eighth, and batting ninth is Denny Doyle. That is for the visiting Angels. And here's David Clyde. It's a lefty, so let's roll. Let's play some ball. All right, we'll be off Clyde against a 4 and a 9, and that's bounced through the hole into. So Mickey slaps in the opposite direction. He gets it to go through the hole into left field. And next is Morris. That should have been Morris Nettles, not Mickey Rivers. Wait a second. I'm sorry. So that was it's still there. It's a 4 and a 9, but it was off the pitcher, so it's still a single for Nettles, a lefty. Next is Dave Chalk, and Chalk will swing away. And that is a 4 and a 6, which will be ball 4. So the first two batters reach, and it's Bobby Valentine. Wow, Valentine is a hit and run beat. So we are going to hit and run with Bobby Valentine here. And there go the runners, and it's a 4. That should be a base hit. There go the runners. He is a hit and run B, and a 4 is a ground out to first base. Both runners will advance. So we got second and third now. And I'm having some issues with my pen. I'm not feeling my pen. I have a lot of pens, so let me just grab one. All right, having a much nicer pen. So we have runners on second and third. This is a tough situation. Do I bring the infield in? Do I let one run score and get the second out? You know what? I'm going to bring the infield in. Frank Robinson, here's a pitch, and that is a 5 against a righty, and an 11. It's a fly ball right field X with a 14. The right fielder, Jeff Burrows, I did not write his data. What's his data? He's a 3-1 right fielder, so let's get that in there. 3-1. So he's a 3, and I rolled a 14. And that's going to be an out 4. It says runners hold. So it's a fly out to shallow right. Right there is Burrows, Jeff Burrows. I believe he wins the MVP in 74. So that is the second out for David Clyde. And here's Bob Oliver. Now, Bob Oliver and Robinson didn't end the season with the Angels. So some sets, like, for example, APA won't have them on the Angels, yet they played 400 and 500 at bats with the Angels that season. All right, so it's going to be a 4 again off the pitcher. That's all the rolls in this inning have been off the pitcher card. So it's a 4 and a 4 against a righty, and that's ball 4, and that's going to load the bases. So this pen's much nicer. Love the way it writes. Very easy, very smooth. Glides across the paper. Here's Paul Shaw, right-handed hitter. David Clyde checks in with Sundberg for the sign, and he sets some deals. And again, off. It's a 5 and a 3, and that'll be a fly ball left field. X with a 9. Left fielder is Alex Johnson. He's another nameless player. He was moved towards the end of the season. I have him as a left field 3 and a 0 arm. And so a 3-9 in the outfield is going to be a ball that drops. And 1 run scores, 2 runs score. And Oliver's going to hold up at third. It's going to be a 2-run, 2-out double for Paul Shaw. Can you believe it? Off the X chart. Next is a guy named Winston Yanes. Here's the pitch. And finally, that's going to be off the batter against a lefty, a 2 and a 7. And that's line base hit to left. 1 run scores. And Shaw, let's see his running ability. He's a 1-12. Left fielder's a 0. We're going to try to score him. There he comes. The play at the plate, and he is safe. So a 2-run single makes the score 4-0 here in the first. Winston Yanes, first game he started that I know of. First game that Ryan pitches, but Yanes did have close to 200 at-bats that season. So it's a 2-run single for Yanes, puts runner on first. What kind of speed does Yanes have? Yanes has an E stealing, so he won't be stealing. And here's Ellie Rodriguez. And that is a 1 and an 11, and that's bounced to short. Shortstop Hara flips to Randall, 6-4, and that ends the inning. So 4 runs come in on a couple of walks and 3 hits. Go to the bottom of the first. Rangers coming to bat against the Express. All right. Let's check out these beautiful cards. Cesar Tovar leading off. He's a right fielder 4. Actually, he's in center today. He's a 4 in center as well with a 0 arm. Toby Hara, the shortstop, batting second. He's a 3. Batting third is, of course, Alex Johnson. Cleanup is Jeff Burrows, who's a 3-1 in right field. Hargrove, a 2 at first base. He's batting 5th. He batted .323. Burrows batted .301. 292 for Tovar and 291 for Johnson. So they had excellent batting averages. They were all hitting. Duke Sims will be batting 6th. He is the catcher of 4+2. Lenny Randall will be batting 7th. He's a switch hitter. And he's a second base, so he'll be a 3 there. Larry Brown. He's playing third base today, and he is a third baseman 3. And Jim Sundberg batting 9th. Don't know what I did with Sonny Sundberg. I see what I did with Sonny. Okay, the DH is Duke Sims. Now I know. All right, so I got to get Sundberg in there as a catcher. That's where I got thrown off. All right, let's do it. Nolan Ryan, see how he does. Nolan Ryan's stats. Let's take a quick peek. He's just under 5 in walks per 9 innings. He was about 5.5, and he is right under 5 right now. He has 6 wins and 3 losses, and I believe his ERA, I wrote it down, was 6. ERA 2.68. He's completed every game except for 1. See what happens in this game. And let's do it. Bottom of the first. The Rangers trail 4-0. That's going to be against a righty, a 4 and a 9er, and that's a strikeout. So a fastball Ryan serves up Tovar with the heat, and it's the first out of the game. Next is Toby Hara, and it's a 1 and a 7 against the righty, and that's back-to-back Ks. Another strikeout for the Express. Next is Alex Johnson, batted like I said, 291 in that season. And he is, I believe Alex Johnson was a lefty, right? Nope, he's a righty. So Alex Johnson's a righty, and here's the pitch. It's a 2 and a 6, and that's a bouncer through the hole into left field for a single. For Johnson, a 2-out single. Next is Jeff Burrows, a 2 and a 6, and that's a base hit. That'll send Johnson to third, first and third now with 2 outs against the Express. Two quick 2-out singles, and it's Mike Hargrove, another a good batter. He actually batted 323. Here's a pitch, and that's a 2 and a 6, and that's a base hit. 1 run scores. Other runner to third. RBI single for Hargrove. Line to right. And here's Duke Sims, not a very good hitter at all. The pitch from Ryan, and that's a 2 and a 9er, and that's a base hit to right. Run comes in. Stopping at second will be Hargrove. First and second, and 4-2 to score. So it's been nothing but hits off the batter cards for the Rangers, who are a pretty good team. Here is Len Randall. Another 2 and a 2 and a 4, and that's ground ball third base, scooped up by Shaw over to first, and in time. But 2 runs come in on 4 singles, and the score is 4-2 now as we go into the top of the second inning. So we got a pretty good high-scoring type game here in the first inning. 4-2. David Clyde will face Denny Doyle on the top of the order. And that is a 6 versus a lefty, and a 5 is ball 4. So I remember that Clyde has inconsistent control from what I remember. Here is now, it should be the top of the order. And it's Nettles. Here's a pitch. And it's a 2 and a 9, and that's a ground ball hit right at the shortstop. Hara, Randall, Hargrove, and it's a 6-4-3 double play. They turn it. Dave Chalk is next. And that is a 5 and a 9, and that's popped up middle infield, shortstop. Hara, he's there. And that retires the side. So no runs, a walk, nobody left. And we go to the bottom of the second. It's Brown, Sundberg, and the top of the order against the Express. Larry Brown, he's a righty, so it's a 4 and a 10, and that's bounced to second base with a 5. Second baseman's a 2. And he makes the play. So 4-3. Doyle comes up with it cleanly. Here's Sundberg, and it's a 4 and a 3, and that's bounced to short this time. The shortstop is terrible, a 4, and he will it gets by on base hit for Sundberg. The 5th hit allowed by Ryan. Cesar Tovar is up next, and we're going to hit and run. He's a B. That's an 11. And that is a batter misses pitch. Roll 20-sided die. We roll. It's a 14. What am I rolling for? It's for steal results. So Sundberg, yikes. Yeah, he's going to probably be thrown out. Sundberg, yeah, he's out 2. Tovar is a righty, so it's 2-4. Caught stealing. Yikes. 2 outs now. All right, Toby Hara. I'm sorry, it's still Tovar because he didn't get a chance to bat. It's a 1 and a 10, and that is a slow roller to the shortstop who charges. Chalk, bare hands, fires the first. Low, scooped out by first baseman Oliver to end the inning. No runs, a hit, nobody left. Top of the third, here we come. Clyde versus Valentine Robinson and Oliver. So 1 and a 4, and that's a hard hit ground ball to the shortstop. Hara throws a strike for the out. Robinson is next. And a 4 and a 3, and that's a tapper right back to the mound. Pitcher's a 2, roll the 15, and Clyde makes the play for the second out. Here's Bob Oliver. That's a 2 and a 7, struck him out. That is the first strikeout for Clyde. 3 up and 3 down, so both pitchers have settled down quickly. It's Hara, Johnson, and Burrows coming up. Toby Hara, who struck out in the first. And that's a 1 and a 7, struck him out again. Second strikeout, and that is 1, 2, 3 for the Express. Gibbs brings it the heat and blows it past Toby Hara. So 1 and an 8, and that's a strikeout back to back. Ryan is on fire. Here is Jeff Burrows with a 6 and a 10, and that is a fly ball center field. Center fielder Nettles. Don't remember what he is. Nettles in center field is a 3 plus 1 arm. And we roll the 5. And that's going to be, oh, he drops it. No, that's the catcher's card. He makes a nice fine running catch, F8 to retire the side. No runs, no hits. And nobody left. Top of the fourth, here we come. Paul Shaw leads off. He doubled and drove in 2 in that first inning. And that's a 1 and an 8 against a lefty, and that's a grounder to shortstop Hara. 1 away. Winston Yannis, a 1 and a 12, and that's ripped and caught. Oh, what a catch by Lenny Randall. Went up and brought it back down and landed on his seat. And here is Ellie Rodriguez, 3 and a 6. And the ground ball to short in the hole, long throw, and got him at first base. Great play by Toby Hara, showing off that cannon. So Toby Hara is definitely a player to watch in the future. Here's Mike Hargrove leading off the bottom of the fourth inning. It's 4-2 Angels. So that is a 4 and a 5. Strike 3 call, and Hargrove doesn't like it. He is muttering to himself, and here is Duke Sims, another left-hander. And that's a 5 and a 9er. Strike 3 call, and that is 4, 5, 6. Ryan is on a tear. He struck out 4 of the last 5 batters he's faced. Here's Len Randall with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Can Ryan do it again? It's a 2 and a 4, and that's a bouncer to third. In the corner, long throw, and in time to get the speedy Randall. Just got him by half a step. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the 5th inning. These cards are beautiful. Nice retro feel to the game, played this way, nice and simple. I think the games of yesteryear were a little bit simpler to play. They kind of flowed a little bit. There wasn't too much addition. It was just especially Stratomatic. Everything is off the cards. It's Denny Doyle, a 6 is off the pitcher card, and a 4 is bounced to third. It's a 9. Third baseman is a 3. We rolled a 9 on a 3, and he makes the play. So Doyle bounces out to Larry Brown at third base. Took a tough hop, 5-9er against another lefty, and that is a bounce to the second. Easy play for Lenny Randall, 2 away. And Dave Chalk today's 0 for 1. That's a 3 and a 6, and that's line base hit to left. So he rips one, a rope to left, played on the hop by Alex Johnson. Next is so that's a 2-out single, and here in the top of the 5th, 4-2 Angels. And here's the pitch. It's a 5 and a 4 against a righty, and that is bounced to third with an X. So that third baseman's a 3, and we roll the 6, and that'll be an out. To end the inning, no runs, a hit, 1 left. We move to the bottom of the 5th inning. All right, Larry Brown. And that's a 4 and an 8. Strike 3, and that's number 7 for the Express. Jim Sundberg is next. He singled. And that's a 6 and a 10. That'll be a fly ball center field with a 2. Center fielder is a 3. And that's going to fall in there for a double for Sundberg. So Sundberg is 2 for 2. Sonny Sundberg. And here's Cesar Tovar. Tovar batted .292. The pitch from Ryan. And that's a 3 and a 3. And that's popped up middle infield. It's Chalk and Doyle. And it is, no, it's not, excuse me, it's pop up to the left side. It's the third baseman. Paul Shaw makes the catch for the second out. And Toby Harris next. Pitch from Ryan. That's a 2 and a 6, and that'll be a hard hit ball to third baseman. Shaw over to first, and that retires the side. So no runs. 1 hit, 1 left. Go to the top of the 6th inning. Need to get that Alex Johnson card. I have a nameless player right now. Not a nameless player, but a nameless player. All right, here's Frank Robinson leads off. Top of the 5th, 4-2 Angels. It's a 3 and a 9er, and that's a fly to deep center. Backing up is Tovar, and Tovar's there. 1 away. Bob Oliver's next. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. That's a 2 and an 11, and that's ripped and caught by the third baseman, Larry Brown. Paul Shaw is next. He's 1 for 2. Doubled in a couple of runs. That's a 3 and an 11, and that's ball 4. That is the 4th walk, I believe, allowed by David Clyde. Clyde is already at his point of weakness, the 5th. Ryan's isn't until the 9th. Here's a pitch to Yannis. It's a 5 and a 6, and that's a fly to right. Can of corn. Burrows. No runs, no hits, a walk, 1 left. Go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Rangers are bringing up some of their heavy hitters, Johnson, Burrows, and Hargrove. See what Ryan can do with these big hitters here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch. It's a 5 and a 10. He's a righty, a 5 and a 10, and that is strike 3. Got him. Number 8. And Ryan has no walks in this game. Wow. Amazing. Here's Jeff Burrows is next. And that's a 5 and a 7, and that's ball 4. Speak of the devil. Shouldn't have said anything. So a 5 and a 7 is a walk. Here's Mike Hargrove. Hargrove today is 1 for 2 with an RBI single. That's a 6 and a 7, and that's ball 4. Back-to-back walks after I said something. Duke Sims is next. And here's the pitch, and that's a 5 and a 6 against another lefty, and that's ball 4. So Ryan, after I mentioned that he had no walks today, he walks the bases loaded. How fitting, how apropos is that? So bases loaded here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ryan faces Lenny Randall. And infield is halfway looking for the double play. And that's a 3 and a 7. And a 3 and a 7 is going to be a fly ball right field. And the right fielder, Yannis. We'll take a look at Burrows. We may try to tag up here. Yannis is a 4+2. So we are going to try to tag up. 4+2 is Burrows is an 11. So it's going to be a 12. And let's do it. He is safe. So a sacrifice fly. And Larry Brown now with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Score is 4-3. And Larry Brown, it's a 5. And a 10, and that is strike 3 to number 9 to end the inning. So 1 run comes in on the 3 walks and a sacrifice fly. No hits allowed by Ryan. We move to the top of the 7th. David Clyde against Ellie Rodriguez. Clyde, this is the last inning he can go. He can go 2 beyond his point of weakness, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. It's going to be against a righty, so it's going to be against a lefty, excuse me. So it's a 2 and an 8. That's ball 4. So Rodriguez walks. Rodriguez won. And we're going to bunt with Doyle. He's a good bunter, and that's an 8. He is a B bunter, and that's a good bunt. To the first baseman, flips to the pitcher covering. Or the second baseman covering, excuse me. So runner on second now. The Angels looking for that insurance run. Here's Morris Nettles against Clyde. Here's the pitch. That's a 1 and a 9er, and that's line base hit. And they're going to wave Rodriguez home. Here's the throw, and it's cut off. RBI single, and I believe that's going to be it. That's going to be it for Clyde. Going to the bullpen. Right, the crowd is finally into it because it was very, very quiet. I felt like I was playing in a cemetery. And if you ever hear any of those old broadcasts, you can always hear the crowd in the background. Never is it really quiet. So when I actually go back and I listen to some old recordings, some old videos, and I hear myself doing the game, and of course with the crowd in the background, it's a whole different feel. It really brings it to life. And I think I moved away from that for a while. So Dave Chalk with a runner on first and 1 out. Jackie Brown, believe it or not, Jackie Brown is in the game. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6 against a righty. A 6 and an 11 is a bouncer to first with a 2. First baseman Hargrove is a 2, so he's a pretty good first baseman. So a 2 and a 2, and that's by him for a base hit. So runners on first and second. So ball just Hargrove could not reach. So Bobby Valentine with runners on first and second and 1 out. Jackie Brown checks in with Sundberg for the side, sets and deals, and it's a 2 and a 4. And a 2 and a 4 is popped up right side. First baseman Hargrove under it and makes the catch. So again, Bobby Valentine 0 for 4 and has not been hitting as of late. Slide this over just a little bit so you can see the card. Here's Frankie Robinson, 0 for 3 today. So 1 and an 8, and that's going to be a drive in the gap, and that's going to split the outfield, roll to the wall. One run scores, the other one will hold. It's going to be a RBI double for Frank Robinson. Yikes. To left field corner. And it's 6-3 now, Angels. Next is Bob Oliver. He bats from the right side. It's a 3 and a 2, and that's popped up, middle infield. Second baseman Randall calling for it. Mine, and it's his. He got it. So that's 2 runs come in on 3 hits and a walk. And the Angels have taken a 6-3 lead. Nolan Ryan going for his 8th complete game today. Let's see if he gets it. He'll be facing Jimmy Sundberg. And here's the pitch, and it's a 6 and a 7, and that'll be a line drive and caught by the second baseman Doyle for the first out. Cesar Tovar. And that's a 2 and a 5, and that'll be, he gets plunked. So he's hit by the pitch. One at first. The Rangers are down by 3. Billy Martin in the dugout yelling instructions, and that's a 1 and a 6. And that's going to be a fly ball center field, but will anybody get there? Nettles, he's there. Nice catch. And that looked like he broke right away. A high fly to center field, but it must have fooled Nettles because he kind of froze and then all of a sudden turned on the jets and was able to catch up to it. Here is Alex Johnson, the pitch from Ryan. It's a 4 and a 5 against the righty, and strike 3, he got him. And that is strikeout number 10 for the Express. So no runs, no hits, a hit by pitch, 1 left. We move to the top of the 8th inning. Excellent game. It's been close all the way until just now when the Angels have a 6-3 lead. Jackie Brown against Paul Shaw. And that is a 5 and a 5, and that'll be a triple-double splits, and that's going to be 1 hop off the wall. So Shaw drives it for his 2nd double of the game. Winston Yanez is next. Love that name. And that's a 5 and a 6, and that's a splits base hit single. Scoring is Shaw. So it's an RBI single for Yanez. And the score now is 7-3. The Angels are starting to pile it on. Here's Ellie Rodriguez with nobody out. The runner on at first. Here's the pitch, and it's a 1 and a 9er, and that is hit at the shortstop. Harrow goes to second, throw to first, not in time. Hustling is the catcher, Rodriguez. It looked like second baseman Randall had a little trouble getting it out of his glove. Here's Denny Doyle. So I think I sometimes call him Brian 6. That is, he's a lefty though. A 6 and an 8, and that's a fly ball center field. A couple of steps to his left, and right there is Tovar. Nettles now. Pitch from Brown, and that's a 3 and 3, and that is hard hit at the shortstop. Hara over to first, so 1 run comes in on a couple of hits. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 7-3 Angels. Ryan is in the driver's seat. He's going to be facing Burrows here in the bottom of the 8th. A 1 and a 3, and that's going to be a fly to right. Yanez under it and gloves it for out number 1. Next is Hargrove. Hargrove today is 1 for 2. That's a 2 and a 12, and that'll be popped up, foul ground. Catcher reaches in to the stands and gets it. Oh, goodness. Great catch by Ellie Rodriguez, showing off, flashing a leather for the crowd here in Arlington. And here's Duke Sims, the pitch from Ryan. That's a 4. He's a lefty. It's a 4 and a 4, and that's a ground ball second base. X, our second baseman, is 2. And we roll in the 8th, and that is a ball that Doyle handles easily to end the inning. So 3 up and 3 down for Ryan, who's got 10 strikeouts and 3 walks in this game. And that's going to be Dave Chalk. Jackie Brown and Chalk here at the top of the 9th inning. So the Rangers are down to the last 3 outs. Most of the crowd is heading for the exits, 3 and a 9er. And that's going to be line base hit to center for Chalk. He's on with a single. That's his 3rd hit of the game. He's 3 for 4. Bobby Valentine is next. So Jackie Brown sets and deals. And it's a 6 and a 2. And that's tapped right back to Brown. Brown spins, fires the second for 1. Back to first. Not in time. Fielder's choice. Valentine is on at first, and he's 0 for 5. Another caller for Valentine. Here's Frank Robinson, who's 1 for 4. And that is a 5 and a 3. And that's a ground ball to first. Runner will advance. Hargrove right there steps on the bag. And Bob Oliver with a runner on second and 2 outs. Pitch from Brown. It's a 4 and a 7. And that is ball 4. Paul Shaw is next. Shaw is 2 for 3 with a couple of doubles. Runners on first and second. 2 outs, top of the 9th. 7-3 California. The pitch, it's a 2 and a 5. 2 and a 5, and that's ball 4. So Jackie Brown is struggling a little bit here, to say the least, on the top of the 9th. He's got 2 outs, though, so Martin pushing him. Yanis, a 3 and a 5, and that is a ground to the 3rd. Steps on the bag, and that retires 5U, or it's a fielder's choice. 5 unassisted. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 left, 3 left, excuse me, because there was a couple of walks. And we go to last licks for Ryan. Can Ryan pick up his 8th complete game of the season? Let's see. He's going to face Randall, Brown, and Sundberg. Here's a pitch. It's a 2 and a 7, and that's line base hit center field. Remember that this is Ryan's point of weakness, the 9th. Next is Larry Brown. Let him bat a 2 and a 7 again, and that's a strikeout, number 11. So Ryan blows a fastball by Brown. And next is Sundberg. Pitch from Ryan. It's a 2 and a 4, and that is a drive. Base hit, cut off by Nettles. Runner to third, first and third. One more, and Ryan gets pulled. Here's Cesar Tovar, first and third, pitch. And that's a 6 and an 8. And the 6 and an 8 is going to be ball 4. That's his 4th walk of the game. And that'll be it for Ryan. So Rudy May is in, and Rudy May went to the Yankees this season, so he has a card that's Texas. So Texas, and then Yankees. He is, of course, a lefty. And let's do it. So runners, bases loaded. Bases loaded. So the tying run is at the plate, and Toby Harrah. Here's a pitch. And that's a 5 and an 8. So it's off the pitcher against a righty. A 5 and an 8. That's a fly ball, center field B. So tagging up will be Lenny Randall. And the score now is 7-4. And this is the heart of the order for the Rangers. Got a good crowd here. Those who stayed are seeing a big opportunity for the Rangers in the bottom of the 9th inning. They've got the bases with the tying run is at the plate. They have runners on first and second. Sundberg at second. Tovar at first. Alex Johnson at the plate. He batted .291, so he can hit against the lefty Rudy May. Here's the pitch. And that's a 6 and a 5 against the righty, and that's a fly ball right field. Shallow. Racing in is Winston Yanis, and he makes the catch. So the Rangers are down to their last out, and the right man is in the right place. He's got the power. The 74 MVP, Jeff Burrows, and he will be facing Rudy May, the lefty. Got good power against lefties. Hold on a second. Maybe we should look and see if we can bring in like a closer. So the truth is, there was nobody who was a closer for this team that I could. There was nobody that was a closer from what I saw. It's very interesting. I'll go over some of these guys in a minute. All right. So we're going to stick with 2 outs now. So Rudy has retired 2 in a row, 2 flyouts, and 2 outs. Runners on first and second. The tying run is Jeff Burrows, and here is the pitch. So when I roll, I have no idea what the result's going to be. That's one of the greatest things about Stratomatic, right? That's what really makes it different from APA. APA, I'm a big APA aficionado, but I really like the fact that Stratomatic, if I roll, I can also look at columns, but this is cheating. Right? I try not to do column 1 and column 1 on both sides is going to definitely be a home run, and that's going to be it. So as long as I don't roll a 1, I'll be okay against Rudy May. Here's a pitch. I rolled a 2, so I should be a 2 and a 6 against the lefty, and that's going to be a base hit to left. So that keeps the Rangers' hopes alive. A single. That is the second single of the day for Jeff Burrows. Better that than a home run, right? A 2 and a 6. That's a single to left. And here's Hargrove. A single here. We'll drive. We won't do anything. The tying run is at first base. Mike Hargrove is will win the run, but a double would maybe potentially clear the bases. Who's running at first? It's Burrows, 1 to 11. We'll see what happens. So it's Mike Hargrove, lefty against lefty. Here's a pitch, and it's a 5. A 5 and an 8 is a fly ball left field. Right there in the corner is Valentine, and he makes the catch, and the ball game is over. Couldn't get more exciting than that. They leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth. They lose it by 3 runs, 7-4. So it's 1 run on 1, 2, 3 hits. And Ryan went 6.2, gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, 8 walks, and 6 strikeouts. In our game, he goes 8.1. He gave up 2, 3, 4, 8 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs. He walked 4, I believe, 3 in that inning, and then he walked 1 in this inning, so he walked 4 again. And he struck out a ton. He struck out 11. He did hit 1 batter, and he wins his 7th, 7-3. So another win for Ryan. And I'm not sure who they play next, but this was a blast of a game. Really, really enjoying these cards. I never thought I would. I saved them, and I said to myself, well, maybe one day I'll want to have a replay of some kind or something. And it just so happens that for some reason I said, well, I have this set. I wanted to do something with 74 because I pulled the set out. I had them just floating around, not wanting to put them away, saying to myself, if I leave them out, I'll use them. And that's been my problem. If you watch the videos, with where you see my setup, my headquarters, I call it the MLB headquarters. You'll see that I have stuff piled all over the place because I say, well, if I put it away in a box, I'll never touch it. If I leave it out at some point, I'm going to say, oh, let me roll some dice. Let me use it for something. And it just so happens that I looked at, Ryan's stats, and they were so extreme. I said, you know what? I wonder if Stratomatic could actually replicate that extreme, that type of outlier of a player with 370 Ks and only 220 hits and 300 and some odd innings, and then of course the walks, 200 odd walks. So let's get some data in here. 7-4 hits for the Angels. We had 1, 3, 6, 7. I never counted over here 10, and no errors. And then for the Rangers, it was 3, 0, 4, 9, and no errors. So I did it backwards. All right, so the final score is Angels 7, Rangers 4. Angels with 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors. The Rangers with 4 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. Ryan wins his 7th of the season against 3 losses. I'm going to input that data. I may do a separate video on inputting the data into the digital diamond game that I have. Let me quickly, I want to take a look at who the Angels play next. I really want to see their schedule. Next when Ryan pitches. I want to see that. Let's see. So he should pitch around the 20th of May. This is the 15th of May. Wednesday, the 15th of May. And Ryan will pitch again on the 19th in the first game of a doubleheader against the Twins. Okay, that ought to be fun for sure, so I can get that out. And remember to like and subscribe my channel. Click on that little bell so you get alerted to any of my videos. Join Universal Baseball Association Facebook group. I'm glad you're part of the Nolan Ryan experience. I always have the stats, and again, Ryan is around 4.6, where he should be at 5.5, but it's still early. It's only 9 games in. We'll play against, I'm sure, teams where he'll have 10 or 12 walks, because the guy, Ryan has walks everywhere on his card. He just needs to roll on those numbers. But it's really a nice retro feel. So if you get a chance to buy these classic cards, APBA has that retro feel, the basic APBA. STRAT has that. The Super Advanced has that real retro feel. Not so much the Advanced, not the Super Advanced. The Super Advanced is more modern feel for me. This is for me, right? Yeah, so the real retro feels you get from also Replay Classic and Status Pro. Those are the games that I play that really get, and of course Sports Illustrated. But the ones I play the most are really Strat and APBA, then followed by Replay, then Status Pro, and finally Sports Illustrated. All those games have a real kind of a simple, ease of play, very replayable, very simplicity. That's, I guess, the word I was looking for. It includes what it needs to include, but it really takes you back to a different time. I have vivid memories of living in the 70s, and there were late at night. There were 2 TV stations. You didn't have. Now I have 800 channels or more. It feels like never-ending number of channels, right? But there were 2 TV stations. There were, 2 or 3 radio stations. Life was very, very simple. You had a gas stove, and you had a toaster, and that was pretty much in your refrigerator, and that was pretty much it. And you lived great, and you used your imagination. And anyway, that's me, just kind of getting lost in the past. So I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and keep track of my videos. Take care, guys.